we're gonna check in on the judge because I don't really know if they have new dialogue periodically or if it's just to accuse people.
I don't remember. I think you voiced the judge, but I don't remember the voice at all.
No. The investigator. Are you our savior as well? Is paradise worth saving?
That sounds about right.
Are you ready to start the trial that will determine the fate of the syndicate? Have you found facts and crafted a truth? I am ready to work through this with you, Lady Loved Eyes. We shall examine your case files and cast a light upon the shadowy recesses where truth lies.
Truth will open.
Are you ready to begin the trials, Lady Loved Eyes? This is the point of no return. Ensure you are happy with your evidence and reasoning. There is no going back.
Oh, so this is the final. Yeah, so you only talk to the judge when you're ready for the official ending.
Except that you can just go talk to her.
Weird.
Weird that wasn't like, why isn't do the trial a separate dialogue option in that one menu we always have?
That seemed scary. I thought we like locked ourselves into something we couldn't back out of for a second.
Yeah. No, we'd be able to back out.
I mean, I'd hope so.
Part of me does wonder if we can just save before and then just accuse whoever you feel like. It's Shinji! And we just have this heartbreaking Shinji trial and we load our save.
You honestly probably could do things. I don't think Shinji's not a...
Unless it goes and does some save deleting.
Why did you make the architect the axing leader?
Perfect 25 is her design, her vision. The syndicate has been mortally wounded. We cannot let the move to the new island suffer as well.
The law forbids her to be on the council.
I have not forgotten her father's crimes. She is a temporary leader. We will go to the new island, and she will step down.
The investigator is here.
Any assurance on that?
The marshals work for the council and the syndicate. They will ensure she steps down.
Sorry.
I hope you're right.
I am almost salivating for the trial. Come back when you are ready.
Which mouth? All of them? Doesn't Witness to the End usually have authority at the end of an island?
The remaining syndicate members are all submerged in the bubbling swamp of suspicion. This includes Witness.
You just took jurisdiction?
I am impartial. My ego was scrubbed a long time ago. I am fused to this island. I cannot move from the Chamber of Justice. So the judge doesn't have their own personality, essentially, and also can't leave this island and dies with it. So they don't have a legacy.
What if the judge killed everyone because they don't want to move out of spite?
I mean, the moment we got back here, I was definitely questioning, like, could the judge be a candidate? Because, like, the perfect cover is being the person that is unquestionable, basically.
Yeah, but this person's obviously tied, like, literally, like, with wires to the court and will die if left, so. They're,
like, designed from the foundational level to be the only trustable character in the game. Besides Shinji.
Because they have no personality or biases.
You and I are the only ones free of suspicion. You and I will understand the truths.
Well, and it seems like the way that they're drawn makes them representative of I think the idea is that they're like different people together. So maybe it's like some sort of uniformity of opinion. I don't know.
All the faces and arms are really unnerving.
Yeah, no, it's very uncanny and gross to look at. And the neck's all twisted, if you look at the neck's all twisted. Yeah,
no, it gives off the impression of some of those Disco Elysium drawings.
I don't like I guess I pointed out last time, but there's like that one arm, it looks feminine, and the other two arms on the left look masculine, but it looks like the one arm is like aggressively gripping the feminine arm, and then there's another masculine arm that's like grasping that arm also.
Yeah.
I only say that because the hands look like very big. But I don't know. What does this mean? Interesting. Who designed this?
They
Why?
do look grabby and weird, but there's also like those are the ones that are like in a clenched position while the other ones aren't. So it's like, I don't know.
Well, the other one looks kind of limp because it's like holding the little mallet. All of them have hands that are like too long. Definitely. Like the back of each hand is like 50% longer than it should be for every single hand. It's something like really distressing looking at each one. It looks like they're in the middle of the transformation scene from American Werewolf in London, where his hands extend and you're like, huh. Gosh, that's a great scene. Great, fantastic practical effects.
Where are the rest of the syndicate?
Some made it out, ferried through the paradise gates to the new island. The rest remain here, the gates sealed after the bloodbath.
That's weird.
Are they suspects as well?
It is possible that they set a conspiracy in motion before they left. I doubt it, though. Criminals always return to the scene of the crime. They insert themselves in the narrative. They need to know. The rest of the syndicate are on the new island. The gates are sealed. They can't come back. They cannot revisit.
I see. They can't exert influence from the new island or keep tabs on the investigation. If you commit the crime to end all crimes, you need to know how it is playing out.
Focus on the suspects here. If a conspiracy was initiated by someone who has left, a co-conspirator will be on this island. You will reveal the truth through them. There's something distressing there where it's like, yeah, like that'd be how you would get away with this, is just you set something in motion, or even you lay a physical trap like that, like the demon
in the box, yeah.
And then you just leave, and then you're not here, and then they seal everyone in to question them, but the person who did it just isn't in this reality
and
anymore.
Somebody gets sent to death for a crime they didn't commit, and you get off scot-free.
But also the anxiety would be like, this is clearly an important thing to you, and you can't tell if it worked.
That is true.
For a while. Until it's too late.
They always do the people return to the scene of the crime idea, because that's exactly what happens. So like, to figure out if they got away with it, or to figure out like if it worked, or to figure out like, or even just out of nostalgia in some weird instances, they will go back and like revisit the scene of the crime, at the very least out of curiosity for like what has become of the place, you know. Why me? I nearly allowed damned Harmony to wipe us out. You don't get exiled for a misdemeanor.
You were the victim, not the criminal. The Syndicate is wrong to punish those that smell the rose of a god's deception.
I know, I agree.
The gods are insidious, slithering into your mind. Corruption by an astral deity is not consensual.
Yeah, Zeus. Zeus knows all about that non-consensual nonsense. You're the only ones who have ever said that.
That's weird in its own way, right? The judge is an outlier on ideological terms, despite being the representative of the entire community.
Well, that makes sense, because the society is fucked and skewed, and the judge has a completely non-biased outsider perspective, which is, I mean, you can maybe argue that they shouldn't be the representative of justice if they have an opinion that varies from, or differs from like the consensus of the island, I guess.
Yeah, like, but it comes as a surprise.
An outsider like us, that opinion seems the most grounded.
I was bound by Montserrat and the council all those millennia ago. Now I can make it up to you.
Thank you, Judge.
But then, like, I'm so neutral, but also I'm almost salivating for this trial.
Seem like you want to see somebody put to death or something.
I guess she's just really excited about her one chance to do her only purpose, basically. It's like her last chance to do a trial before she dies, as if I interpreted that correctly.
Oh, yeah, we noticed that the first time.
Yeah. Sing the song of punishment. There's something like evocative and interesting about when violence is explained as singing. That always, like, the blade sings through the air, or like there's always been a Penny Arcade like comic or poem or something that stood out to me. The word, it's like one of its many mouths will open and sing the song that ends the earth. It's like, oh my god, like that's been seared into my brain more than anything else that has ever been written by them for like decades.
Well, the world ends with a whimper, Keith.
Yeah. We're gonna go back up to French Lady. That's enough of a break, apparently. But also, we just found the photos of her murder, so it feels worth investigating again.
The smoke's still... Yep. We've done irreparable damage!
It's fine, the world's ending.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the ozone. Doesn't it affect us all forever? I don't know. How does this world work? I don't know. Do we have separate... Are we on different planets entirely? They're islands?
I believe so. Like, it's a portal to a different either planet or reality. Because everyone else is already gone, but this one's still here. So it's not like we all, like,
all go somewhere, and then this world goes flip and just like redoes itself into another planet or something. Oh, I was on the wrong ledge.
I get the impression that would really make defeatists out of most people. Like, oh, fuck it, I don't gotta recycle. I don't gotta even bother where I put my trash. This is my last week on the Earth, or on this. I mean, I
don't know if I saw any recycle programs around.
You really think this place would look a lot messier for it being like the end? You think people would go party and like throw things around and like make disasters everywhere?
Yep.
And light things on fire.
I mean, look at this place.
Well, I mean, this is where they killed everyone. Of course, it's messy.
Yeah. I mean, they have to make this place work for like at least a few hundred or thousand years. And the citizens don't feel the disposability of it all because they'll live and die entire generations in that world, so it feels just as real to them, I guess.
As like a normal lifetime.
Yep. The sky likes to just instantly transition. Is it location based? It's time based, right? It's just the.
I think we just were in a certain spot for it to be more apparent to us than it usually is.
It's just really abrupt when it transitions eras. It doesn't like slowly fade between them the way you would think. Oh well. Why, hello, one last kiss. Are you ready to do more French voice?
To the best of my ability. You know what I've been thinking of?
What?
Obviously you've seen Pulp Fiction, right?
Yeah.
There's like Bruce Willis's character has this adorable French girlfriend, and she has a cute little bowl cut for some reason, and she's like, I want blueberry pancakes. Like she has a little French accent, and he's like, where's my watch? And she's like, it's on the little kangaroo. Like, she says it with a French accent. I'm not doing a good impression of her, but she's very, very French. She's very tiny. And he like yells at her, and he comes back and he like apologizes, and they drive off on the motorcycle together.
Sorry for yelling.
But she's very sweet. Whenever I have to think of like a French accent, I think about her saying of how she wants blueberry pancakes. Yeah. I got time to chat. I have all the time in the world until the island ends. What's your take on Perfect 25? There's no such thing as perfection.
Ta-da!
The Syndicate has obsessed over demonic corruption, but turned a blind eye to the corruption of itself. Joke, because they're a joke.
Aha.
Introspection was never our strong suit. I believe it to be a never-ceasing trend, don't you? I've been in the Idle Lands. Nothing to except introspect up there. Nothing to do except introspect up there.
Yeah, there's a typo.
What did you learn? Whiskey. Going cold turkey on whiskey is harder than I expected.
You haven't had whiskey for like 1,000 years?
I mean, you think after the first week, the cold turkey part would be so hard. It'd just be a bummer with the nostalgia. I'm sure the Dead Nebula Corporation lamented your considerable loss. Are you enjoying being back in paradise? Back on the sun-baked concrete? The Syndicate needs an investigator, and I answer the call. It's my role in all of this. What roles are the others playing out, I wonder?
I have a bad feeling about this.
That's what I'm here to find out. I hope you do, investigator.
We have a better relationship with the dead person. Hooray.
Cool. I mean, you know. I want red gloves.
Henry's demonic possession.
Cosplaying any of these people would be fun, but very, very, very difficult.
Yeah, it would take some effort. It's like there's a line between like nailing the look in some like expensive way versus like wearing like felt.
I always want to cosplay JoJo's characters, but it is freaking impossible. Just their hair alone is not something you can recreate. You have to buy a special wig, and I'm not willing to do that. What do you know about Henry's demonic possession 10 years ago? Was his possession when these wheels were set in motion? You should find out. What if someone set him up? What if this is a part of the plan? What if someone needs to trigger the end of the island? What if someone accessed the grimoires in the library? We already found that out too, miss.
We love doing that.
We are so good. Did you see Henry while you were floating around the island last night? Did I? Didn't I? I don't want to say. Why? That's the key to this whole thing. You need to investigate it yourself.
Stop that.
What can you tell me about the sigils scorched into Henry's skin? Demons speak in arcane tongues. During the possession, the demon is screaming in rage. The victim screams in the tongue of the demon, but the noises are capable of making are too limited.
Investigator.
We cannot pronounce demonic languages. We don't have the vocal range or understanding. Sometimes the demon's psychic force wills the words into existence. This can take a number of forms: telepathy, unearthly sounds, loss of vision, and so on. In Henry's case, the white-hot rage of the demon caused the sigils to be scorched into his body. His body was burned from the inside. His insides are probably destroyed. His physical form is being held together by the demon. Do these sigils affect anyone else? Those he comes into contact with will also have them scorched into them.
Ooh, the investigator is here.
What kind of contact? A strong embrace. The skin needs to be pressed against another skin for several seconds. Same sigils were found drawn in blood at the crime scene. Would Henry have done these? Drawing is an expression of the human mind. When you draw, you communicate something in your mind outwards. No kidding. The demon has already found a way to express its emotions outwards by scorching Henry's body. The demon already has a canvas. It doesn't need another one. So why are those symbols at the scene?
Humans.
Yeah, because that's very convenient set dressing to frame someone for a crime.
Because Akiko or her co-conspirators are trying to frame Henry, so they drew the sigils. Be like, see, it's Henry that did it. And
yeah,
it's like,
they
match. That's not how demon work.
That would be too obvious. That's for you to find out, investigator. I'm only an expert on demons, not crime scenes. Could the demon make Henry draw them? The demon does not control Henry. It causes him to act, but he chooses how to act. Do you see the difference?
How does that work when you're blacked out, though?
Like a boss that tells you what to do, not how to do it. Precisely. If Henry were to do that, he'd be doing it under his own volition. I don't know about you, but I can't draw characters from a language I don't understand.
Yeah, why would he know the symbols? Interesting.
Intéressant.
Akiko?
She don't got one. Did you see the Grand Marshal last night? Speak to the Grand Marshal, investigator. See if you believe her.
I don't.
No. Tell me why Witness might want to kill the council.
There is corruption on this island, investigator.
Witness is damaged. He whips himself up into a religious craze. He started thinking that he shouldn't be thinking things that shouldn't be thought about. What things? He's become apocalyptic, fatalistic, convinced the end is upon us. How does a ghost know this? Before I died, he came to see me. He had questions about demons, and I was the exorcist after all. He'd become fixated on the idea that a sea of demons would crash upon the island and wipe us out. A flood sent by the gods to wash away sin. Wasn't he...
Then shouldn't he be like, good?
Yeah,
Yeah. Do we agree with gods or not? Make up your mind.
What did he want to know from you? Are there signs to look for? Can we divine from the stars if a flood is coming? Harmless questions from someone who has the responsibility of overseeing the end of the islands. His role is to look for signs that an island is going to end and make sure the death and birth happen properly. The innocuous questions came first, then he started asking about initiating a demonic invasion or using demons as weapons. Why ask about that? He dressed it up in pretense about the warning signs of the end of the island. I'm not a fool, though. You don't ask those questions unless there is dark intent.
Got it.
What did you tell him? How demons enter the islands, how possession works, all standard topics that anyone in the syndicate is educated on. So why was he asking? I think he was hoping for some nuance or detail that wasn't public knowledge. I didn't give anything away. There are forbidden secrets that the exorcist god.
Paradise feels wrong.
Yes. Let me ask a direct question. Do you think Witness was trying to use demons to cleanse the island? That I can't say. He certainly was fixated on it, though. Interesting.
Trying to use... yeah. Huh.
Like he's trying to summon demons to wash the island.
Yeah, because he's talking about the visions of it or whatever, and I thought he meant that in a bad way. Like, oh no, the gods are going to cleanse us out like Noah's flood and stuff like that. But then, seems like he wants it.
Wouldn't that cause Witness like a ton of pain because of his condition?
Not if he dies first.
Well, I mean, if he's that self-sacrificial.
I mean, if everyone's going to die, you just go out in a bang, right?
Or a whimper. Do you know anything about the murder of the martial gods outside of the council building? The council building is awash in evidence, investigator. Check everywhere. What secrets does the sea hold? What about searching for the sky?
Reaching for the sky. Reach for the sky!
There's a snake in my boot. What?
Somebody poisoned the water hole!
That's funny how like ingrained in our brains those are. Somebody's poisoned the water hole.
That's one of my most watched movies ever, I think, is the first Toy Story.
Well, honestly, that's a good answer. It's a fucking great movie, man. Mrs. Nesbit. I used to always cry.
I'm Mrs. Nesbit.
I used to always cry during the part where Buzz would try to fly out the window and he can't. Because they play the music as he's doing it by the guy that made the You Have a Friend in Me guy.
Yeah.
I forget what his name is. But there's he tries to fly out the window and he like falls and he learns that he is a toy after all. Mm. I'm like, oh.
You are a child's plaything and you're a sad, sorry little man.
What do you know about the escape last night? Everyone is lying. What about the distance and time? Have you checked that? Yes, we did. Did Henry go through the Syndicate HQ? He'll have logged if he did. You know,
Crimson.
One last kiss. Sorry, but like you're preaching to the choir at this point. We already know all this information.
Yeah.
Did you see Crimson last night? You should speak to her, investigator. She doesn't have an alibi anyone can corroborate. But I trust her wholeheartedly with my whole love and heart.
One last kiss is this playthrough's Impa, where find them in episode 50, and then you're like, oh, look at all these prompts to do the things I already did.
Do you know anything about the third Holy Seal? Who could get through there? A special lock requires an unusual key. Did you see Witness to the End last night?
Are you happy with your truths?
Are you happy with your truths?
Mon ami.
This is hard.
Yes. I want blueberry pancakes. I left on the little kangaroo.
I'll just have to. We just need to elect my moderator from Discord to do all the lines.
Witness. I think you do a great job, Keith. I do all right, but like. You're a great voice actor. You're fine.
No.
Yeah, you're good. You do excellent. You're fine. Witness and Karma. You're fine. You did good. No, I'm impressed. You have like you do some good voices. You obviously do this for a living. Witness and Carmelita spent the night together. I wonder if that means anything. Did you see the architect last night? Have you asked Witness? Convenient she was there, isn't it? Did you see Yuri last night?
Are you happy with your truths?
He was in the gardens, investigator. What if there was a gap? You should speak to Lydia. We already did, that's why we have this other prompts.
Yeah.
Did you expect a comms blackout last night from the reality folding drive burst? It would be very convenient for that to happen last night, wouldn't it? I think whoever told you that is lying. Well,
yeah, we're already pretty sure he was lying about that.
Mm-hmm. What do you know about KHX's disappearance? Another mystery for the great investigator. I don't know what's happened to him, but he's still on the island somewhere. Ooh, that's good.
We know that because we found his body.
Well, we do. Okay, but she means he's on the island somewhere, but maybe not alive.
Because he hasn't left.
Okay. Did you see the doctor last night?
Do you understand, investigator?
His clinic holds a secret.
Not an answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, KHX is, considering we found a body at the beginning of this playthrough, it's come up surprisingly little. I guess people just don't care about him as much.
It seems very unrelated. Like
the council is just so important that they don't really care that KHX died.
I thought it was gonna like interweave somehow, but it really hasn't seemed that way. Did you see Lydia and Sam last night?
You understand, investigator?
The logs at the Paradise Gates will confirm several things: their alibis and their time frame. Consider the time frame, investigator.
It's somewhat difficult to have a reliable alibi if you can teleport.
May you always live in the shadow, and may you reach the moon.
That's I think our first ever completely emptied out dialogue tree.
We did get
the rest of it was surprisingly brief, like 10 minutes.
So we actually got a new point from asking in regards to Lydia and Sam's time frame. We got a little bloop like on our little menu, so we apparently got something out of that. I just don't know. I thought we already kind of had an idea about them, but maybe not.
We still need what we need to smash this. Well, they're giving me a tip on where to investigate for information. So we might want to look into the time frame.
But I get the impression that if we already know this information, we won't get a little bloop on our menu about it being new. Which makes me think that I don't remember the time frame for Sam and Lydia's.
Yeah, like, I feel like we have a lot of the surrounding information, but we may not have that exact detail. So we have one more little hint.
A little bloop.
Shinji?
Are those Shinjis all the way over there?
That looks like a Shinji right by the heart, doesn't it?
Wow, if that is true, I will be very impressed, because you saw it from fucking very far away.
Is it gone? No, I think that was just a reflection. Because it went away.
You're seeing him everywhere.
And Shinji doesn't just go away like that. That's not how it works. He's like always facing you. Yeah, so that was the light shining on the dome. Usually if I just see one weird, slightly vertical spot in the distance that doesn't match the surrounding landscape, it's almost always Shinji. Or it's red, which means it's a heart or a blood crystal. And those are less easy to see at distance. Let's take another trip to Dr. Doomjazz, whose clinic hides a secret.
We haven't seen him in a little bit.
But part of my goal is to go around and like not only continue spacing out the remaining dialogue for each character and finishing that up, but like the questions you can ask. But I also want to hang out with each character and see how far that goes. So we can have a hangout tour as we cycle through them all.
Look at all the friends we kind of have. They don't really have a chance.
None of them are friends.
Yeah, they don't really want to hang out with us.
They don't like me.
He likes us.
Too much.
Too much, yeah. He's kind of a creep.
Oh right, I was doing a voice for this guy.
Are you gonna fall in the water? Are you gonna fall in the water? No!
I can do it. I did it. I would like one cheeseburger, please.
Yeah, that's what it was, yeah. Like, that's how you use, like I have the little kangaroo and the pancakes, and you have the cheeseburger line to help you remember your voice. Got a sec, Doc.
How's the investigation going? Caught a bad guy yet?
Yep, that was right.
I think I've got some handcuffs somewhere around here if you need them.
How many people have you used them on?
Only a few special ones.
Still not settled down then.
Not that kind of guy. Too much to experience.
Either of these will work. Skeptical. It is a fucking small island, dude. You fucking like.
Yeah.
It's a small island. Not that much to experience.
Every person is unique. Each island has a lot of new people.
By a lot, you mean like 7?
Well, there used to be a lot of people here.
Was he fooling around with citizens too? I was gonna say, here we have
yeah.
Relationships with citizens are forbidden.
It's been wonderful to see you again.
Do you want me to get the handcuffs? Want to take me in?
Oh, so he was fooling around with citizens, that shameful man. You replaced your arms.
Nice topic change. An updated model by MHI. They have improved haptics in the fingers.
Strictly for medical purposes, I'm sure.
Want to test them?
Want
to test them?
Be dismissive. Not especially. I'm trying to solve a mass murder.
Let me know if you change your mind.
Goodbye, Doc.
Fabulous.
I am enraptured by you, Love Dies. Just no, not backing off at all. Besotted, enthralled.
Besotted, huh? Where's this going?
I understand the key to your heart is information. You desire the unknown. You desire to know about people.
I had nothing to do with this.
Maybe there's something I can help you with.
Yeah, probe him.
As much of a disaster this voice is, it's just a good thing I'm not trying to do a goddamn Irish accent or having a Scottish accent.
No, I like.
Which one is it? They're both impossible. I can't do either of them at all.
He has a Scottish accent. Yeah. Your accent, I like. It's perfect. You have something you want to tell the investigator.
I'm a professional.
How do people do that voice?
They're from there, Keith. That's how they do it.
It's not fair.
It's like.
It's like, hi everyone, this is Hamish Black and and this is Writing on Game. I have no idea how to make those sounds.
Brogish. Makushla Makaya.
What is Super Eye Patch Wolf's voice?
I don't. He's kind of weird.
He's just got a weird, distinct voice that I can't make out right. I don't know.
You've seen Trainspotting, right?
No, I need to.
That's a great movie. Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
And I have to watch that with subtitles because I get more out of it if I watch it with subtitles.
You can't get
the
it
first
all.
time I watched it, I was like, I caught like a fourth of everything, and then like I watched it again with subtitles, and now I can kind of fill in the blanks myself. But like, I still watch it with subtitles anyway. But I just get more out of it.
Akiko's in trouble. She's been mixing business and pleasure. The council found out. They're planning on stripping her of authority on the next island.
Who's Captain Voth again? Oh, is that her lover?
I think so. Yeah.
Let's interrogate.
Which will die, or the one she already lost. I think.
This is about her relationship with Captain Voth.
What?
So you know.
And who told you?
Eyes Kiwami a while before he died. He gets loose-lipped after a drink.
And who told Akiko?
I got loose-lipped around a woman in power armor.
Thank you, Doctor. The door to the back of your clinic.
What about it?
Why is it broken? You know I need to investigate this.
Lady Love dies.
Lady Love dies. You old people should know why I can't have that door logging who goes in and out.
So you admit you tampered with it?
I didn't tamper with it. I gave the D2 caster machine in my clinic a little too much juice and it tripped fuses all over. When it rebooted, that system failed.
And you choose not to get it fixed?
That had nothing to do with it.
Sure, but it's because I entertain guests, not because I wanted to murder the council.
Got it.
Because he's a hoe. I'll make a note of your hoishness. You were friends with Eyes Kiwami.
I miss the old bastard every day. He saved me during the Great Betrayal. We'd been so close for so long. His passing tore a part of me out.
I'm sorry to ask you this, but did you help him hide 2 births?
That's unusual.
What?
Among his possessions, there were 2 birth records. The identifying fields had been blanked out.
You went snooping around my dead friend's apartment on some bogus suspicion, and now you're accusing me of helping him hide births of children on the island? We're done here. I like you, investigator, and I'll help you with any genuine lines of inquiry you have, but I won't tolerate this. It's a long time for a dead person's apartment to be unattended. It's like,
yeah, you
been
think
like
that they're
20 years or
next
something.
Next of kin would come and like
gather
their belongings or something. Did you see Yuri last night?
Yuri Knight last night? I didn't see him last night, I'm afraid, Love Dies.
Did you experience a comms blackout last night from the reality folding drive burst?
Can't say I did, they're pretty unusual. No one will verify his story because it's a lie.
You examined Grace Bloodlines when Henry killed her, right, Doc?
No, we never got to talk to Grace about the fact that we have photos of her murder.
Well, it never came up. She didn't give us an option.
I guess it didn't matter. A nasty one for sure.
Was there anything odd about the scene or the victim?
You mean odd for a case of demonic possession? I didn't get to examine the scene for long. Akiko was in a rush to contain the area, and it was a pretty open and shut case.
The markings on Grace were strange, though.
In what way?
Henry's other victim, his mother, had the same sigils scorched into her skin as Henry. Grace had those sigils, but they weren't scorched. They looked like they had been carved with a blade. So Henry also didn't kill Grace Bloodlines.
But his mom had the sigils, so he hugged his mom.
He killed his mom.
But he hugged his mom.
Which is the most...
Remember, because an embrace causes those to happen.
Well, any embrace, that could also be a murder embrace.
I suppose.
Like a strangulation. Because didn't he kill his mom too?
It is implied that he did, but now I'm questioning if he just gave her a really big hug.
The demon inside Henry burns with cosmic fire, and Henry's victims receive the same branding.
Oh. So if he killed the council, they'd all carry the sigils.
Depends on how he did it. I don't have a lot of evidence to support this, but I expect the sigils to only be scorched on victims he has sustained close contact with. A cut and run probably wouldn't do it, but a strangulation would. I should mention that I would expect the inhibitors to prevent or limit the scorching of those sigils into victims.
So why would Grace's sigils cut into her?
I wrote it off to the madness of demonic possession. We don't know a whole lot about this kind of thing, so I figured he carved them himself as some kind of ritual. I can't say for sure, though.
Thanks for your help, Doc.
Someone else killed Grace.
What do you know about a photo taken of Grace's throat during your examination?
I took photos, but they were confiscated by Akiko. Classified or whatever, because they would expose Akiko being the murderer.
Dude, Akiko, man. I found one on the Marshal's servers. Can I get your opinion on it? The bruising on the throat looks odd. It's from behind. That's weird.
Oh. That's because the fingers that did it aren't uniform. Are they armored? In normal strangulation bruising, you can see areas of pressure from the fingertips and the knuckles. The pressure on these is misaligned. This is normally because the attacker is wearing jewelry, specifically in this case a ring on the wedding ring finger.
What about power armor?
No. The gauntlets on the Marshal's power armor are gloves with armor plates on the top of the hands.
Who wears a wedding ring?
Oh, so they're just gloves on the inside.
Oh.
Wedding ring.
Lydia?
Or wore a wedding ring. This was 10 years ago.
Is it us? No,
we've
been gone for
we've been gone for a lot longer
years,
than that. Yeah. Not a lot of couples. Everyone's super suspect. I think we just might have to haul everybody in. Just cleanse everything. Maybe just never open the door again and just let the world end. You'll get them that way.
Did you see the architect last night?
She said at the crisis meeting that she was at Witness's apartment. Witness can probably tell you more.
What a cheeky grin. Did you see Crimson last night?
She has her little emporium. Go ask her.
She's just super unrelated. Did you see Witness to the End last night?
I don't know what he was doing, but he's normally in his apartment on the last night of an island. Go ask him. Yeah.
May the cosmos be a mystery.
And may you reach the moon. Do we have a single element of suspect on Crimson?
I don't.
Has anyone cast any doubt at her yet?
No, the only doubt is that she doesn't have an alibi. But like, if you ask her, she's like, "Yeah, I don't. Sorry."
No alibi. Sorry.
Have you ever heard about the there was that
That's so much fish.
So many fish. Have you ever heard about that crime that took place in which an innocent man was accused of murder but got off? He ended up getting off the hook because he was at a Dodgers game on the night of the murder, but they just so happened on that night to be filming an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David.
And they found him in the footage?
They found him in the footage. So it was like this long stream, because what happened was so a guy got convicted of a murder and he had no clue about it at all. He's like, what? He's gonna be put on death penalty for this.
Yeah.
But the the sketch they were using to like pin him was the most generic sketch ever. It was just basically like a Mexican guy with a mustache, and he was like a 25 to 35-year-old Mexican guy with a mustache. Like it just looked like him because it was very generic, and like he didn't have an alibi that was going to work because like the only people that saw him at this game were all his family, and they're not going to listen to that. And also it was like his 4-year-old daughter, and like you can't use her, like she's not a reliable witness, you know. So like the lawyer was a great lawyer, and he scanned all the footage from the game to try to find him in the stands, but he couldn't find him, even though he knew where he's supposed to be sitting. And like they couldn't use the tickets because he had bought season tickets off of somebody else. It was somebody else's season tickets, but a lot of people with season tickets will sell their season tickets if they can't go to the game that night because they have like a whole set of tickets.
Lost mountain water, beautifully clear water once obtained from a well of an ancient mountain. The mountain was lost millennia ago. The water has never tasted the same since. That stuff's always scary to me, where I'm just like, what if I just got accused of something one day, and it's like, how do you... It's like the idea of like, how do you prove a negative? No,
it was very stressful. I watched a documentary on it. It was very stressful. But like the lawyer was honestly such a great guy. Like if he didn't want to put in this much effort, this guy would have been put to death for a crime he didn't commit. But they actually they figured out that like, he's like, oh, I remember people having cameras there, and so he looked into it. He called the owner of like the Dodgers stadium to figure out what was being filmed there. And turns out they filmed an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and it's the one where Larry David goes to the Dodgers game, but he uses a hooker to use the carpool lane because he gets stuck in traffic, so he picks up a hooker just so he can use the carpool lane. Yeah. Then she wants to go to the game with him, so he has to take her to the Dodgers game. It's a very funny episode. He ends up being seen there with a hooker, like at the Dodgers game, which is very suspect. But he was just using her to
weirdly,
use the carpool lane.
So many people made choices that day that ended up saving somebody's life, including like the writers deciding to have the plot be that in the first place, and like
and Larry
whoever
David
came with the idea, episode concept,
on using a real Dodgers game instead of having it staged, which was a huge problem for his people.
It's like 10 different people made a choice that all collectively saved this person's life.
And
by making this impossible situation
there was like a bouncer guy who's supposed to be doing his job and not letting people walk in the aisle, but he just so happened to like not be doing his job very well, and he let this guy and his daughter walk up the aisle to get popcorn or something. And so for a split second you see him in the cut footage for the episode, and they got this guy off the hook like by some miracle, you know.
That's just absurd. Good luck though.
Yeah, honestly, Larry David's like, I tell that story at cocktail parties because it's
reason
it's
500 not to have a fucking death penalty.
Yeah, honestly, like.
It's like they didn't have any evidence on him, which is clearly shown by the fact that he just didn't do it.
Well, they had an eyewitness, but the eyewitness saw him at night,
which is always bullshit.
And
eyewitnesses are trash because memory sucks, and we make half of it up whenever we try to say what it is.
And the guys in charge of the investigation actually got in trouble because they did that thing where they push evidence, where they kind of like imply, oh, it was this one, right? And they circle his picture so the guy like
making a murderer, where they just like push the guy, like that kid, over and over again until he finally just says what they want.
Exactly. So they actually got in big trouble for that. I mean, big trouble as in just demotion, because you know that's how like the police work. They don't.
Yeah, nobody faces real consequences, even though they're like literally ruining people's lives with the shit they do.
But no, yeah, there's a little documentary on that on Netflix if you guys can find it. I don't remember what it was called though. So good luck. Let's talk Henry. Is there any joy to be had on the islands?
Oh yeah, too much really.
Fucking surprise.
What the fuck do you think?
I'm just trying to get a handle on the island that birthed the crime to end all crimes.
We do our work and pray. Sometimes people go to that bar. Sometimes we go to the beach.
I'm shocked. Stunned.
Did you know that there's boat rides? Fucking boat rides.
Have you been on one?
Yeah, a long time ago. My mom took me. We didn't get the best seats. I was a problem kid and she was a single mother.
Were you always shunned?
She made some friends eventually. There was a mahjong club in one of the apartments. She got in with them.
What about you?
I found kids to hang out with, not friends though. I'd just do stuff to make them laugh. Smash windows, set people to fire, whatever.
People to fire.
That's when I started being arrested a lot.
No kidding.
Hang on, what the fuck am I doing opening up like this?
Whatever you fucking
Whatever.
say.
Well, a little punk.
You want to hear something fucking good? I got something.
Do you have something you want to tell the investigator?
I like you, investigator. I think you're onto something. The code to the safe in my apartment is a fucking train wreck. Oh my god.
SO394B. I thought you had a bad memory.
Some things just get engraved on it. Trust me, I wish they didn't. People should have minds full of things. If you only have a couple of things rattling around there, it's torture. The same thing keeps bouncing off the edges of your consciousness, and it's like a gunshot each time. My god, I think we've been there before, right? And we couldn't open it yet?
Yes.
Oh yeah, it's in the dead zone.
It's in the dead zone. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I forgot about that.
There's so much here.
Did you go through the barracks last night?
Why are you asking?
The only statue of New Knight is in the barracks.
Well, I guess I did then. Good investigating, you nailed it. Any fucking idea how that happened?
What everyone is saying about what you did last night might be wrong.
Some excitement, finally.
He's really not invested.
No, he's not. I mean, there's no good ending for him. He's literally doomed to live forever with a demon in his body while being tortured, and the moment it comes out of him, his body falls apart. Like, he can't be fixed as far as I can tell.
Henry, do you know the name Aiz Kiwami?
Never heard of him. Is he my dad?
Looks like it.
Is he a good man?
Sorry.
He took his life a few years ago. I'm sorry.
Fucking perfect. At least he doesn't know what his son did.
Or he does. I don't know. Allegedly did.
What fucking ever.
I guess that was a few years ago.
His lines are just fun to say.
What can you tell me about the murder of Grace Bloodlines?
I killed her, didn't I?
You were found guilty of it.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Then why the fuck are we talking? You know I did it.
Reassure.
The facts and the truth are not the same.
A guilty conviction and the truth are not the same thing.
If I am the suspect in so many crimes, I must be the bad guy, right?
That's what I'm here to find out. Did you see Yuri last night?
Who the fuck is that?
Did you experience a comms blackout last night from the reality folding drive bursts?
What do you think?
I guess it's a no.
A lot of these are pointless.
Are you fucking
Oh, he doesn't know who Crimson Acid
No.
is. She's a celebrity, sir.
What fucking ever?
Yeah, you don't know
what
nobody.
fucking ever. Hey! Okay, so read yours.
Did you see Witness to the End last night?
Oh, I do know about that. Loads. I know so much.
Oh, he's being sarcastic.
My mind is bursting with knowledge about whatever you're talking about.
Oh, he's being such an asshole.
Fuck off.
He tricked us.
We're out of lines from Henry, the best character after Shinji. And Crimson, I guess, whatever.
Shut up.
Grand Marshal Agago 14.
Hi, I bet you have no secrets.
Got a minute, Akiko. You're going to die.
That's how she says hi.
Humor me. This is why she has no friends. Why she has to have all of her underlings being friends.
You just say hi to her and she's like, Synecdoche. Or like, fucking Valor Margolis, Memento Mori. Just fucking all the different, like, you will die, remember that you will die lines.
That's not what Synecdoche means, is it?
I don't remember. Isn't Memento Mori remember that you will die? Yeah. It's like a command.
I think I learned that from the series of Unfortunate Events when I was reading it as a kid.
Yeah, I think I know it from John Green.
Why do you hate me so much, Akiko? I thought you were the investigation freak. It's not that hard to figure out. Say, what's your fucking problem?
Yeah.
What's your problem? Is this a soldier versus civvy thing? Case file completed. You've solved the mystery. Why does it have to be like this? way of the world. We exist in different planes. We see different things.
She's insufferable.
I work so that you may sleep at night. You trot about without a care in the world. Don't be respectful or honorable. Be insolent. Yeah. I don't want to be nice to her.
She's smug.
She pisses me off. You didn't protect us last night.
I'll kill you.
We're done here.
Yeah, you can see that.
Her gloves. Does she have a wedding ring under her gloves?
It doesn't quite match up with what Doom Jazz said. He said that there's only armor plating on the backs of the hands, and that the rest is a glove, which would mean that it wouldn't leave a weird print. But look at that thumb and stuff. I'm like, it looks like part of each finger is armored all the way around, unless it's just the thumb. But that index finger also looks pretty armored. Maybe the artist didn't match up with the evidence person that wrote that part.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
because it definitely is glove on the inside, but not the whole finger. Like the whole finger needs to be glove on the bottom for it to not leave any weird prints.
I don't think the people who made this game were expecting you to nitpick that piece of information.
We're just supposed to fix it on the ring being supported.
But when he mentioned that, I thought about her hands also, and I thought the same thing. So I remember. Yeah. I remember her pointing at us like this.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Nonorosito.
Literally, she just increased,
which makes no sense.
Just exposure therapy. We're just forced to deal with this. Oh my god. We have so much that we go after her for her motive right now. Oh my god.
What should we do? I don't even know. I just pick one. I think
Martial
we'll go
expansion.
through all of them.
Just go around it a little bit.
Interrogate seems like the thing that an investigator would do.
Well, yeah, just asking a question.
What about you wanting to expand the roles of the marshals? Where have you pulled that from?
Crime cannot hide.
You want exorcism to be a marshal role. It makes sense. We hunt them. Might as well do the next step.
Don't test me.
Sounds to me that you're making a land grab to boost the importance of the marshals. Believe what you want, Nonorosito. Does your relationship with Captain Voth have anything to do with this? Nonorosito.
The investigator is here.
An illicit relationship that got found out would be punishable. I'll kill you. Careful.
And then she kills us. Punishment for what?
I don't know. I don't know where either one of these is really gonna go.
I kind of wonder if we should clean up other stuff first before we get her really mad at us.
I don't think they can kick us out. But actually.
This is also pretty. Let's clean up some of the dumb ones.
Did you see the doctor last night? I told you. He came to examine Henry after we found out that the lava G.
The lava G.
That was after the murder. Did you see him before? No, I was busy. Did you know about a backdoor in Doom Jazz's clinic? That's Pula. He brought the power grid down a few years ago. When it came back online, that computer blew out. He was ordered to get the door fixed, but he never did.
Wow, you really
knew that.
She doesn't really follow up on this shit, apparently.
How did he bring down the power? The reality folding drive kicks out an unfathomable amount of power, but the grid is fragile. A fine balance is maintained. The doctor tapped into the HQ's grid for some tests he was doing that needed extra juice. There are official channels to go through to get extra power, but he doesn't care. He's excited about something the Syndicate moves too slowly for him. When he fired up his equipment, the HQ's grid went down. When it came back up, a number of systems blew out. It caused chaos. Why wasn't he forced to get the computer fixed? He has a lot of visitors and likes the secrecy. That Pula wasn't in any rush. He smooth-talked his way out of it.
I don't know how well he can smooth-talk anything, honestly.
So this is the voice you give him. Did you see the architect last night? You should ask her, Nonorosito. I'm not her babysitter. Did you see Crimson last night? I don't know if you realize this, Nonorosito, but I had my hands full last night. I don't know where Crimson was. Go ask her. Did you see Lydia and Sam last night? I had my hands full, Nonorosito. I wasn't keeping tabs on the happy couple.
They were happily murdering.
Did you see Yuri last night?
Nonorosito, you're out of your mind.
You're making me mad, Nonorosito. Who cares what his alibi is? The murderer is in his cage.
You've never not been mad. So we can't make you mad.
Yeah, that's true. There's no degree of difference. Did you experience a comms blackout last night from the reality folding drive burst? No, I didn't, Norchito.
These are all hot button topics for her.
I don't think she can kick us out. I don't think they will. During Henry's exorcism 10 years ago, he left Grace Bloodlines alone with him. Why are we talking about this, Norchito? How does this relate to the council murder?
Sure.
That's what I'm trying to find out.
You need to back off.
Yes, I made a mistake. There seems to be a pattern.
Ooh.
Heat on the street is that you're trying to expand the responsibilities of the marshals. You wanted to fold exorcism into the duties of the marshals. Sure would be helpful if a demonic threat killed our exorcist. I should kill you for that accusation. What can you tell me about the demonic sigils on Grace's body? The same is found on Henry's mother. I've been told they weren't. Rena Division sigils were scorched on to her by sustained close proximity to Henry. Grace's were carved into her flesh. Got any proof, Norchito? No solid proof, just a good bit of testimony. Were you carrying a blade when you arrested Henry? Of course, I always carry my sword and combat knife. Did you find a blade on Henry when you arrested him or after he had killed Grace? No. So how did the sigils get carved into her body?
I'll kill you.
No idea, Norchito. Demons? Thanks for the insight, Akiko.
Not looking good for you.
Why did you confiscate the photo of Grace's Bloodline's neck from Doom Jazz after the examination? She was murdered by someone possessed by a demon. Anything related to demonic possession is classified. Is that standard procedure or just for evidence that doesn't tie into the official story? Standard procedure. You think you're really smart and clever with your snide insinuations, but you're not. You're wrong.
She's never gonna want to talk to us ever again.
She has no choice. What happened with the prisoners you removed from the barracks prison? It's classified in Norchito. I disagree. Why were they removed? Investigator, they're being processed before the slaughter ritual. We don't just open the prison gates and let them wander over to the temple.
Sure.
They were removed before the slaughter ritual? What happened to them? They were processed, then returned to their cells.
Processed? What does that mean?
The logs don't show them being returned. You don't have access to the full marshal network, so you can't prove that. You also don't get to question how I run my army. We do have access because we broke in. Although
more access than they want.
In a court of law, we can't use evidence like that. So,
That's in our laws.
That's true. Tell me about you and Voth. Captain Voth. Magar. Don't you dare speak about my marshals without proper rank. You are in a relationship with him. Relationships with myself and the marshals is expressly forbidden. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. Watch yourself, Norchito. A lot of murder has happened on this island. Would anyone notice some Pizda investigator going missing?
She just openly threatens us all the time. She usually doesn't even bother insinuating anything.
You've been asking for the marshals to be inducted, haven't you? It's a reasonable request. We guard these islands. But you've been denied. What if there was an incident that prompted the council to reconsider? The crime to end all crimes on the eve of Perfect 25, for example. I admire you, Norchito. You believe so fully in all sorts of little stories and fantasies. It must be nice being so credulous, undaunted by the world. Is that a denial, then? Of course. You were found out. You were going to be punished next island for your relationships with your marshals. That gives you a clear motive. Kill the council to protect yourself. Which means you are full of shit. You don't know anything. I live by the rules. I am a woman of honor. We'll see about that. You want to hang out now?
He like walks on the beach.
Like, go get smoothies.
I'm afraid to turn my back on her. She's gonna stab me.
Luckily, I don't think they have full range of motion in this.
Assert dominance. Just stare at her the whole walk back.
You do that thing where you point to your eyes and then you point at her like
and
this.
Just keep doing it over and over again for like 10 minutes of walking backwards.
And as soon as you turn around, you start sprinting. You just hear a clink, 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 clink as you're
She's in heels. It's a really funny visual. Just completely drop the pretense out of nowhere.
Honestly, we're pretty gutsy going to this place where pretty much only she exists because Henry's testimony isn't going to mean shit.
Yeah, and then just kill me.
Threatening this chick with giant power armor and threatening to put her in jail in this isolated area where no one sees.
That's a pretty dangerous thing to do. There's a lot of chromatic aberration going on there. Look at the lights on the building. It shows 2 lights pointing up.
Oh yeah?
You see that?
Oh, yeah.
It splits into so many colors to do the dash. It's really noticeable when you have high contrast with lights on darkness. Which is itself weird, because that's like a concept that's only really supposed to be used to represent video distortion. And these are my eyes. Eyes don't do that. Not like that.
You just ran through a tree.
It's always a bit of an issue I have when that happens in games. Because like, there's a lot of chromatic aberration in Soma. But in Soma, it fits the story. It's supposed to be there. But for but then like a lot of horror games will be like, oh, whoa, you're hazy and weird. It's crazy. This is your sanity's being tested, and your camera's gonna like go blurry and low depth of field and high depth of field and low field of view and all these tricks to make you feel disoriented and weird. And then they'll put chromatic aberration in there, and I'm like, no, you're not a computer. Stop it. You're supposed to not be a camera. I know the video game's a video game, but we're not supposed to think our protagonist is a camera lens.
Keith, they don't expect you to know all these things.
But that's the only thing that represents. It's not a thing. It's not based on reality. That doesn't happen. It's not
they don't expect you to think about these things, not that.
But it's an investigation game.
Well, the investigation isn't about chromatic aberration.
It is now.